Salutations, my friends, and welcome to Livestream meditation. From near and far we gather. And the focus, of course, is the mystery and the magic of the star tetrahedron, the Christ matrix. It is a form of consciousness and light that we begin to weave around us. And as it then begins to be finalized, it is then what we call enlightenment, because we actually begin to emanate light. The reason being is that it's the fulfillment of that which is the masculine, the divine masculine of power. And of course, true power is simply focused attention. Much like when we go to the movie and they turn on the bright projector, it's simply a very clear, dynamic focus of light, attention. And what is it holding attention upon? It's the film. And the film for us is the divine feminine, which is imagination and feeling. And so when the divine masculine shines all of its attention and light upon imagination and feeling through the star tetrahedron, the facets literally spin out that which we are imagining and then holographically recreate it within reality. And so each of us is already creating our reality every moment. It's just that for most individuals who are not yet really kind of balanced within their masculine feminine matrix, they're focusing often upon what's the problem? What do I think I want? What am I worried about? What might happen tomorrow? What about the chaos in the world? What about my finances? What about my health? And every time we bring to our imagination attention on one of those things, it literally increases it, because that's what the light does. It literally increases that which we are focused upon. And it's why when we begin to move towards our meditation practice, we're always focused upon the positive. I'm feeling dynamic. I'm feeling quite healthy. My prosperity is flowing beautifully to and around me. I know that I create my reality, and whatever I want to imagine and see and feel and focus upon, I'm going to give that power, I'm going to give it energy, and it's going to be increasing it. And if we're very clear about that, we then literally begin to draw magnetically to us those things that we have been quietly focused upon. Now, if we come to the place of worry, I'm worried that's not going to happen, then it's like an eraser. It simply erases that which we have been focusing upon and feeling. It's a feeling of lack of trust. I'm not really trusting spirit, the universe, the divine being I am to fulfill that which I seek to create. The other, of course, exquisite thing about the star tetrahedron is that the upper triangulation of divine power is moving, of course, left to right. And as it spins, then it creates a counter rotation within the lower triangulation of the divine feminine, right to left. And it's this counter rotation of energy that is happening that literally creates an opening, a vortex, if you will. And that vortex is within the area of the heart chakra. And of course, in India, they called it the jewel in the lotus. And that jewel then opens, and from out of its source, literally from inside out, begins to flow into this dimension. We would like to believe that everything is happening out there around us, but in fact, reality is literally flowing from inside out. It's just like the great black hole at the center of the galaxy. And within every galaxy, within the cosmos, there's a gigantic black hole. It's not even 1% of the size of the Milky Way, but nevertheless, consciousness, source, imagination is literally emanating from inside out of the black hole. And it is already imagined, created, and felt within imagination the entire structure of our Milky Way galaxy, the stars, the planets, the purposing of that which is the divine energy emanating up and out creates then the materialization of a galaxy. Now, that's somewhat hard to imagine, but once we begin to understand and truly feel within our own meditation that as we're now beginning to open this doorway within, we literally, with the opening of the doorway, feel that there's this movement, this kind of gentle, watery flow of spirit emanating from inside out. It's a dynamic feeling. It's very visceral. And over time, it grows and becomes quite palpable in our meditation. And we realize that I'm really bringing Source into this dimension. And as the great enlightened being Jesus said, who is able to fully inform the Christ matrix, I am the doorway. And what that means that once the star tetrahedron is formulated and the doorway within opens, spirit is literally emanating from inside out. I am the way. I am the doorway. And it wasn't a personalized, Jesus the only I am. Each of us is an I am. As we learn to open the doorway, realize that I am the breath of spirit. God's source, I am, is now flowing from inside out. I'm not looking for it. I'm not trying to find it anymore. That was part of the quest of our developing the star tetrahedron. I'm looking for understanding about power. I'm looking for wisdom about love and about emotion and feeling. As we begin to have those honed and refined within our consciousness, and our mind is now focused and silent, and we're very clear about what it is we want to create an image in within our life. And then the doorway opens, then breath from inside out, spirit literally gives life to that which we have imagined, focused on, and felt. The other amazing quality, of course, of the star tetrahedron is the original emanation of source at the very beginning of creation. That which is the divine power, masculine, then simply created the image of itself, the opposite image, which then created the divine feminine. And so there was the masculine of what we call the father, creating then the mirror of the energy of the mother. And the two of them united, it then created the star tetrahedron. And then the doorway opened to the sun, the light of source, able to emanate for the first time out and begin to create the very beginning of the cosmos, the universe. And so the star tetrahedron, the Christ matrix, is the very first emanation of source to begin creation. And everything in existence has come forth because of this particular form or structure, this crystalline structure of the star tetrahedron. The beauty of it is, as the doorway opens within the very center of the star tetrahedron, it is literally the formation of a dodecahedron. So this is the image of a dodecahedron. 12 facets, 12 sides. This is the jewel in the lotus at its very core. This is the black hole within all creation that is literally emanate energy up and out. And the 12 facets upon this particular structure are literally then the 12 tones: C, C sharp, D, D flat, E, F. So the 12 tones then create the 12 colors. Now, we often think there's red, orange, green, yellow, indigo, violet, but there are then subtleties of the mixture of those colors between. And so it creates 12 sounds, 12 colors, 12 emanations. And those 12 emanations are then also the 12 Elohim. The original 12 archangels that each is on a particular ray of energy emanating from source that then is creating within the universe one of the 12 aspects of the divine. And so everything is based upon 12. And so it is the beauty of this emanation of sound and color, you see, that literally then, as we give it life, because we're focusing attention, imagination on what it is we choose to create, that one of those facets is then activated. And then the facets of the star tetrahedron literally then spin it into holographic reality. And so we literally then learn how to truly create our reality. And of course, this was demonstrated so effortlessly, not only by Jesus, but by many, again, saints and masters down through history. Krishna, Buddha, many others. And so Jesus was able to bring forth the loaf and fishes by simply holding the mind attentive and focused upon the feeling, the imagination of loaves and fishes. From out of it, of course, then the matrix was able then to simply gather the materiality of this dimension and then focus it into living light. Turn that rascal off. So it's a magnificent creation that we're really learning how to create and begin to imagine within our lives. And that's one of the, of course, principles of creation is what am I imagining? And that's what our meditation has been based upon the last 4 to 5 years since you've been with me. We have moved out of from simply bringing golden light, which is the frequency of the Christ, and downloading it from above and looking for wisdom and looking for a feeling of truth and hope and dynamicness within. And it was able to change the mind, to change the body, but it was still a looking outwardly. And that's when we began to, again, find that it was really about focusing the mind in its silent upon imagination and begin to imagine and feel around us and begin to create with our mind and with our imagination this structure of living light, the Christ matrix. And imagination is what creates all reality. Everything in existence first came from imagination, be it a wheel, be it a cog in a machine, be it a light, be it a telephone. It was first imaged in, imagined within the mind substance, which comes from source. And as the mind was then able to focus upon it, we were able with our hands and with our energy be able to build it into form with a lot of doing, which is just fine. That's the way it was done in this world. But when we begin to master this reality as Christ did, you simply focus the mind, imagine, and creation literally happens because you're gathering it from out of the substance of reality and creating a holographic matrix of it. And then we have agreements, of course, that it's real. But the beauty of it is because imagination has created everything as we begin to imagine, excuse me, and begin to feel this structure around us, it literally begins to create it to be a living thing. And so over time, as we continue to do our meditation and begin to imagine and begin to feel it more and more, it becomes ever more dynamic. I remember when I first began this practice, it was somewhat challenging to sit quietly and hold the mind steady, begin to imagine and feel the upper triangulation, begin to imagine and feel the lower triangulation. And then the mind would get lost, but then you bring the mind back to once again imaging it in. And we know that over time, as I've shared with you recently, one is able now to know and feel that the doorway is open. And so no longer is it about imagining and feeling the star tetrahedron. It's a structure that has been formulated. And because it's formulated, one literally feels at the very center is the doorway, the I am. And as one sits here at the doorway, one then truly realizes, like a coin, on one side is spirit, the divine connection to God I am, and in this dimension, reality being created. And so one becomes then a creator being. because one can be trusted with all the powers of heaven and earth, because the mind has been quietly taught to be a focused instrument, simply upon love and joy and peace and happiness. And so everything that one then brings forth into creation is filled with harmony and balance and grace. Only those individuals who have been able to truly love and find that love is something that is created within by finding all those emotions within that we thought we weren't good enough and moving through them and finding and feeling the divine magic and bringing that back into life, we have then overcome the darkness of emotion. Not by trying to get rid of it or disliking it, but finding that emotion is simply hiding something that wasn't loved. And because love is established, we no longer are looking for something, no longer validation, no longer prosperity, no longer things that will support us. We know and we feel from inside out, I am simply focusing and creating my reality by divinely loving. And so prosperity and joy and health and happiness, it simply flows to us. And so that's the really beauty and the mystery and the magic of the star tetrahedron. And it's something that I will reiterate that we create by being focused. If we want to simply feel the meditation, maybe once every week or so, then it's not much of a building through imagination of actually precipitating light around and through the body. It's a dynamic focus. It's a very intense creation of imagining and feeling. So one of the things that really helps us in our bringing forth from inside out is our breath work. And our breath work is about literally breathing from inside out. When we're breathing, we, of course, are breathing in oxygen, but more importantly, with the star tetrahedron established, we are breathing spirit from source inside out. And so as we're breathing in, we're then feeling spirit arising forth. And then with gentle imagination and feeling, we're observing it as liquid spirit emanating from us. I am the light. So I'm going to take you through about 5 minutes of breath work where we become quiet and we bring our attention to the doorway. And as we're breathing, our breath is simply breathing source from inside out. So let's sit quietly and close the eyes. And feel the body relaxing, letting go. And we bring our attention to the heart chakra at the sternum. And gently holding attention here, we feel there is an opening, a doorway. As we're breathing in, we're literally summoning source from inside out. Gentle exhale, sparkling, effervescent light through every cell and tissue of the body and emanating out as sunlight and peace. And once again, gentle in breath. Knowing and feeling from the open doorway, I am summoning Source, God I am, into this dimension. Like gentle mist arising forth, and the exhale becoming sparkling, effervescent liquid light. I am the light. holding the mind steady, illuminating the open doorway within the heart. Feeling the in-breath summoning spirit, and with gentle exhale, I imagine, I see and feel sparkling, effervescent light within and through the body and all around. One can truly say, I am the light. Breath flowing, gentle, focused. Breathing in both oxygen for the body, but from the open doorway, the breath of spirit. I am the doorway. Holding the mind steady, I sit at the doorway. On one side, the eternal void, source, spirit. And with in-breath, I summon into this dimension, into reality. I am the doorway of the divine. Like the physical sun, I emanate light and peace. As Jesus said, I am the light of the world. He was referencing the star tetrahedron, the Christ matrix. Power and love unified, opening the doorway for the eternal I am to flow, to create reality, to be the living light. The entire universe is breathing, breathing from inside out, creating the illusion of reality. The joy of manifestation. Source asking self, what am I? I am that I am. Everything in creation is but source. I am that I am. One breath, eternal transformation, becoming physical form falling away, consciousness within reuniting to live anew. Breathing source from inside out. I am sitting at the doorway, breathing that which I am, source, into this dimension. quietly and purposefully. And a couple of more deep, deep breath. Imagination and feeling to become sparkling light all around. And when it feels comfortable, to slowly come back into the now. The beautiful thing about breathing from the open doorway is throughout the day, if things become challenging or there's something that is upsetting, one can simply become quiet. And then knowing that I'm breathing source from the inside out, I'm breathing source into this dimension. And in that moment, because you're literally bringing the force of creation into the now, it begins to settle things down, creates a new perspective, a place of peace from which to then go forth once again. So I encourage you to use the breath work. So I'm going to take you through the formulation of the star tetrahedron. As I said earlier, as I have it formulated, I then feel myself sitting at the open doorway. Above, there is this movement of the triangulation, left to right, divine power. Beneath, the movement of the divine feminine, right to left. But I'm sitting at the doorway knowing I am the Christ matrix, and I'm simply summoning Spirit I am into this dimension. And as I'm meditating, I'm then simply watching, seeing, and feeling liquid golden light emanating from inside out. One is no longer looking for the light. I am the light. So let's sit quietly and close the eyes. Feel the body relaxing once again. And we can bring our attention to the breath. Particularly when we're doing things like yoga or intense or dynamic, purposeful physical activity, we can know that I'm breathing from inside out. And it edifies and feeds the physical form. So slowly and gently bring your attention to the heart chakra, right at the sternum. Feel yourself sitting at the doorway. On one side, the eternal void, spirit. On this side, dimension and reality. And with gentle focus, I imagine and feel above me the movement of the divine masculine. The point of the star tetrahedron just above the crown chakra, gently turning left to right. Clockwise rotation, left to right. Beneath me, the divine feminine, with a point of light just below me touching Mother Earth. and gentle movement from right to left. And as the star tetrahedron turns, it magnifies evermore the open doorway within the heart, where spirit is arising forth. To become the living light of creation, the light of the divine from out of the void into reality. I am the light. Let's sit quietly together and I will join with you. And together we will create magnificent light, bringing peace on earth. And very easily now, still sitting at the open doorway of the divine, the observer of creation, knowing I am the light. So thank you everyone for joining in tonight, creating light for oneself and for the world. Even though we see chaos out there, it's just the light increasing so rapidly that it's illuminating that which is the ignorance, but it will fall away. We have no worries. All right, thank you so much, and peace be with you. Namaste.